Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about moving to Thailand. Is it the right move for you? We're going to do a checklist. So number one on this checklist is make sure you like hot, humid weather, because it's hot and humid in Thailand year-round. There's just various degrees of hot. So sometimes it's very hot and sometimes it's just hot. And if hot and humid is not for you, you may be in trouble if you plan on moving here to Thailand, because there's not a lot of areas, if any, to get cool. So just keep that in mind, that the climate here may be a little bit different than what you are used to. And just know that we do have a smoky season, and that is when the farmers burn their crops. It's usually March and April are the worst, and that fills the sky up full of smoke. You can't see the sky very well. And some people who have respiratory problems may have some issues during that time. I just want you to make sure you know that that actually happens. You can relocate to somewhere on one of the islands for those 2 months. That might work out well for you. But I just want you to know, if you're moving here to Thailand, you're going to have some different weather that you may not be used to. Next in our list, do you like delicious but spicy food? Thailand's known for their spicy food. A lot of places that you're going to go to, especially if they're tourist friendly, will have things that aren't as spicy for foreigners, because they realize a lot of foreigners do not enjoy spicy food. However, most of Thailand does have spicy food. If that's something that upsets your stomach and you're going to be living here on a regular basis, something to consider. Yes, you can go to grocery stores. Yes, you can make your own food. That's absolutely. I'm talking about if you're going to go out, order things at restaurants. So you can also find food that isn't quite as spicy. As a matter of fact, you can find food that's made like your home country. You know, they have pizzas here. They have chicken wraps, they have Mexican food, whatever you're looking for. All that is here, so you can always go with those types of food. But just know, if you do have a very sensitive stomach towards spicy food, it's one thing to consider if you're coming to a country who really prides themselves on spicy food. Another thing to consider if you're thinking about relocating here is the cost of living. It is very low. Hopefully that will not bother you. That should be a big plus. So if you're looking to retire or something like that, or you are young and on a budget and you're looking for a place where your money goes a long way, well, look no farther. Thailand is very affordable for the most part, and different parts of Thailand are more affordable than other parts of Thailand. Just so you have a general idea, the further north you go, things should get even cheaper. So down south, things are just a tad more expensive than they are in the north in Thailand. So if you're really looking to extend your money, you'll want to move up north. Another thing to consider, it's on the checklist that I've done for you, and that is, are you okay moving far away from your friends and relatives? And a lot of you are saying, oh yeah, that's why I'm moving. That's great, but what about the people who aren't? So one thing I've noticed from talking to expats here is that a lot of them really do miss either grandchildren or their best friend, other relatives. So that seems to be the one thing that's common that you'll find with expats here. But keep in mind that you can always do video chats, and if you need to schedule them on a regular basis to keep that line of communication open, go ahead and schedule that with people. Works out really well. That's what people do here that miss their loved ones back in their home country. But anyway, consider this if you're considering moving away from people that you're near and dear to. Now, another thing on the checklist, do you like unfamiliar things? Because you're going to move here, bugs everywhere. You're going to move here and things are going to be different. The sounds are going to be different. The pace of life is going to be different. The language, of course, is very different than probably what you're used to. I'm assuming you're moving from a Western country, but if you're moving here from any other country, things are different. So one of the things that I really enjoy about moving from the United States here is that I lived in the United States for, 51 years. And, I've seen most all of the United States. I know all the sights. I know all the sounds. I'm not as wowed by things because I've lived there my whole life. But when I come over here, it's like a whole new world. You know, you get the birds you've never heard before, you can hear them. You know, plants that you've never seen before, silly things that, you know, other people that live here would not even notice. You'll notice because you've never seen it before. So it makes life more interesting, in my opinion. And I really do enjoy getting up every day and seeing new things on a daily basis. Now, another thing to consider when you're moving here to Thailand is that there is some increased stress when it comes to driving. The driving is a lot different than what I am used to in the United States. First, it doesn't feel like there's any rhyme or reason. I would say for the first 6 months, I was a nervous wreck when I drove in this country. But after a while, crazy starts to look normal to you and you understand the flow of everything and what's going to happen. When you see that guy that you're thinking, oh, he's not going to pull out in front of me, he knows better, and he pulls out in front of you, you're going to be ready for it the next time. You're going to think kind of like this: that guy's probably going to pull out in front of me. Yep, he pulled out in front of me. It doesn't shock you or make you angry or anything like that after a while. So just know, if you're a stressed out driver wherever you're from, you might be a little bit more stressed here, at least for a little while. Now, are you up for a slower pace of living? So again, from the United States, the pace of living there is a little high, at least from the area that I was in, the lifestyle that I had. I can tell you overall that the pace of living here is a lot slower. Now, I am not in Bangkok. I do not know what the pace of living is like in a gigantic city. I am, though, in the second biggest city, which is Chiang Mai. And it does seem like the pace of living is a little bit slower, a little bit more relaxed. And I always like to compare it to Jamaica, because Jamaica always reminded me of a real laid-back place. Well, it's the same thing here in Thailand. So if you need to slow your life down, Thailand might be the place for you. Another thing to consider is, do you like geographic diversity? And what I mean by that is, here in Thailand, you get to enjoy all kinds of climates. You can go down south and you're going to enjoy some of the most beautiful beaches you have ever seen, some of the best in the world. And they do have mountains that go straight into the water, beautiful scenery. Or you can come up north where I'm at in Chiang Mai, and you can enjoy the mountains, more of a jungle type atmosphere, and you can enjoy a tiny bit cooler weather, but it's more mountainous here. There is no ocean. So there's different areas around Thailand that are different from each other. So that's one thing that you can enjoy by being here. If you're from the United States, this point may not wow you as much, because obviously there's a lot of geographical differences in the United States. But if you're from some other countries, let's say England, there's a lot more choices to see different things here than there might be just staying in England. Now, I can't go without talking about affordable health care. So if affordable health care is your thing, then you can knock that off the checklist, because not only does Thailand have affordable health care, but it's really good health care. I've had friends of mine get in accidents, and they've been to the hospital. I went in there with them. I've done videos on comparison of hospitals, went and visited these places. I've heard feedback. I've read online reviews. The hospitals here are very good. Yes, some are better than others. You'll need to do your research to the area you're moving to here. But don't worry about the quality of health care here, and especially the cost. And yes, you can buy health insurance here in Thailand to cover you. My wife and I have a policy on us, and it's like a major medical. So if something really bad happens, it will cover us. But for any, little tiny things, an outpatient service, we're just going to pay out of pocket, which is a low cost already. So when you're considering moving here to Thailand, there is a lot of things you need to consider. Hopefully this little checklist I put together was of some value, hopefully. And if it was of some value, please consider buying us a coffee. There's a link down in the description below, as well as below you'll see a super thanks, or I think it just says thanks. So feel free to click on that as well. We do have a merchandise store with shirts that say things about Thailand. If you are at all interested, in the description down below. We have plenty more videos for you to watch. And if you go onto our link that has all of our videos in it, you can probably see a lot of other videos that may interest you on moving or relocating here to Thailand, the land of smiles. Thank you for watching, and until next time, Kap Kun Kap.